Welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin, where you come for the crypto neo news, education, and opportunities. My name is Lucas.
And my name is Ryan.
My name is Jacob.
And speaking of education and news and opportunities, we're excited to bring another follow-up in the world of blockchain and DeFi and interoperability. As you know, we cover all things blockchain and innovation, IBC, EVM, layer 2s, layer 1s. We're your hub for education and entertainment because none of this is financial advice, medical advice, commercial advice, legal advice. We're just sharing our research and understanding. And we're also making it and adding playlists with that research and understanding so you can take your time to walk through tutorials. We actually walk through Web 3.0 wallets and sending and receiving and staking and using layer 2 solutions, which is what this is all about. So what is this all about? What's the big news today? What are we here to talk about?
Well, we're here to talk about DyDx, the big layer 2 validity proof solution. It's pretty interesting what they're doing because they're powered by Starkware. So it's kind of like an off-chain solution in a way where the user interface, people can use the user interface, but they're not interacting with the blockchain itself. They're interacting with that layer 2 solution. And so they have an exchange that's available on iOS or Android early next year. But right now you could use it on their website. The big thing was as a US citizen, you just couldn't participate. But that's all going to change soon, and we'll get into that.
Absolutely. Well, and for DeFi, so a lot of people, when you hear about DeFi and blockchain and crypto, DeFi got its start with AMMs, automated market makers, but there was still a little clunky and a little slow. And the DyDXs, they are not just, a layer 2 solution, but they're also a way to add more robustness to decentralized finance. Is that right, Ryan? We got an opinion on that?
Yeah, I do. They have a high throughput, so they can handle a greater number of transactions than a typical, right? So highly scalable, and I believe, the off-chain order book, which is decentralized, it has a matching engine. So the idea is it's got low latency trading and high throughput. So they claim that they can do 10 trades per second and 1,000 orders placed per second, and with the idea of scaling up, higher and higher throughput as time goes on, as innovation and development requires. So very scalable, very robust, and the idea is that it will handles these orders in an off-chain way. So it helps to limit and reduce the miner extracted value problem, the front running that you see in other chains, and also it's fast, right? So it's got there's a lot of pluses here.
And cheaper fees, obviously. So we're not sponsored. DyDx didn't reach out to us. We just like to talk about latest innovations, and there's more to this innovation that we're talking about other than just what DyDx is, because we've actually, I believe we've made a video about this a long time ago. I know DyDx has been around offering this for DeFi, but DyDx historically is a layer 2 solution that's enhancing the trading, enhancing the exchanges on the Ethereum network, and they use a certain technology. Of course, we leave all the links below so you can do your own research and add this to your resource list. But this is L2 Beats, which shows what's going on in the world of layer 2s to help relieve the Ethereum network of congestion, to offer a place for applications to operate without extremely high gas fees and transaction costs. And here we see DyDx is one of the top. It's the number 3 when it comes to total value locked, and when it comes to layer 2s and
market share.
Absolutely. Well. And of course, Jacob, you've talked about optimistic rollups, ZK rollups, different types of layer 2 solutions. And here we see that DyDx is They are one of the layer twos that are taking advantage of the ZK Snarks technology.
Yeah. So now actually, if you go ahead and do me a favor and open it up with DYDX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they even what I love about L2 Beat is they actually, if you ever don't know about a layer 2 solution, visit L2 Beat and read the description of it and just go through it, because they do a risk summary as well. You can see all of the risk summary right here. If a contract receives a malicious code upgrade and there is no delay on the code upgrades, that's a critical risk that is possible. And it's important to understand, the risk to reward ratio, especially in the crypto space. And coming here, this is a place where they will give that to you so you can make your own educated decisions.
Absolutely. It's important to do your own research. Now, okay, the big announcement is, what is it? What's the big announcement?
Well,
Right.
there's a new version coming out, and there's going to be a launch, the version 4, and it's going to be a whole new blockchain. The DYDX is launching a chain, right? It's no longer just a layer 2. They're going to create their own layer 1 blockchain, and it will be built on the Cosmos SDK and Tendermint protocol. So this will make it part of the Cosmos ecosystem, part of the IBC, and create opportunities for direct bridges and interoperability with the rest of the IBC ecosystem. So brings a lot of cross-chain interoperability into what was before an Ethereum layer 2.
We talked about this. Go ahead, Jacob. Pardon me.
I do just want to mention really quickly that they are number 3 on L2 Beat without American participation, and with them being brought over, through the IBC ecosystem being put onto the map of zones, it's going to allow for American investors to take part in the DYDX ecosystem. And
Very huge.
That could be a huge potential of income.
We're just seeing a massive value flood into the IBC ecosystem. We'll leave this link as well. We bring this map up all the times, the map of zones. This is the inter-blockchain communication network. Every one of these protocols is their own independent blockchain. Although if you've done your research, you may have heard of these, like Cosmos Hub for interchain security, Sentinel VPN, decentralized VPN services. You've got Stargaze NFT. Axler just recently brought wrapped Ethereum and wrapped Bitcoin in a decentralized way here. Juno Smart Secret Privacy. Okay, so that's huge.
Yeah.
And by bringing in its own chain, it can directly communicate with every one of these blockchains without needing a layer 2, without needing to go off chain and trust a centralized or a third party. So this is a big deal. And it's also interoperability. A lot of people in crypto and blockchain talk about the need to bring communities together and the importance of interoperability. We're seeing projects, applications leave Ethereum, leave EVM models and come over to Cosmos Tendermint IBC ecosystem because of that interoperability. This is big news for a lot. We're talking about bringing over a lot of exchange value from Ethereum over to the IBC and access to the IBC community. But what you mentioned at the beginning, Jacob, the spoiler, which one of the biggest values here is that they're opening up now to a whole new market that they were cut off from before because they weren't operating in as decentralized manner in their previous arrangements. Now they weren't allowed to serve US customers. So DYDX was shut off from a huge part of the crypto market. And by now operating on their own chain in a more decentralized way, they'll be able to have access, or people in the US will be able to have access to their service as well. That's a big deal. I mean, you can see other people following suit. I can see many applications, if they were limited or stuck with the same problem, saying, oh, well, there's an easy solution. We could just move our application onto its own blockchain, the Cosmos ecosystem. That would solve a lot of problems.
For sure. Yeah. And and bring with it the opportunity for all that interoperability, right? Which is so difficult in the EVM world. Because one of the things that we talk about security, right? These bridges, whether we're talking about Axie Infinity, there's others that have been they've been vulnerable to exploits and to hacks. So when you're doing these bridging transactions, a lot of times that's an opportunity to lose your money. And having direct communication between blockchains through a common consensus protocol like Tendermint, that alleviates a lot of those problems, right? And so then we're also talking about not only bringing in liquidity from the other chains, but we're also enhancing security as well.
All right, so here's a cool little part of the article. Speaking of security, let's talk about scalability too. Currently, the existing DyDx protocol processes about 10 trades per second in 1,000 order placements and cancellations per second, with the goal of scaling to magnitudes higher. However, the firm says that neither Ethereum layer 1 nor layer 2 solutions can meet its requirements for throughput speed while also satisfying its 100% decentralization requirement by the end of the year. So the DyDx code will be open source. The protocol itself will run on open permissionless networks with no services being operated by parent entity DyDx Incorporated. All validators node operators will run the core node software, which will handle consensus, off-chain order book matching, deposits, transfers, withdrawals, and price oracles. In addition, traders will not need to pay gas fees to trade, but only fees for executed trades, similar to that of DyDx version 3 and centralized exchanges. Fees will then be distributed as rewards to validators and stakers. Furthermore, DyDx seeks to bridge blockchains by leveraging Cosmos's inter-blockchain communications protocol. This way, which we just talked about, DyDx can bridge digital assets such as stablecoins directly from other secured chains on Cosmos. Top priorities in development include the transfer of collateral for trading from to blockchains such as Ethereum, as well as centralized exchanges. So go ahead.
I was just going to say, one of the things for those of you who may not understand what this means, if you do me a favor and scroll back down to the bottom really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for those of you who may not understand what this means, is essentially this is going to allow for more velocity of money to be able to come in and out of these ecosystems. And to be able to do that, it's going to allow for more collateral.
Oh, you got froze up there a little bit. It's going to allow for more collateral. Say again.
More collateral on the DyDx ecosystem and in the ecosystem on their exchange through other blockchains. So what this allows for is a bigger velocity of money to be coming through. And for that to be happening in a way where it works similar to centralized exchanges, where there just is no gas fee on those particular trades unless executed. And
well, and it wouldn't be a gas fee; it would be like a bid ask spread, like like how centralized exchange do it. You know, there's always a little bit of a spread between buying and selling, and that's like the fee to the protocol, right, or the fee to the brokerage or the exchange. So I feel like that's kind of what they're saying there. So it won't be a gas fee; it'll just be like some built-in fee, you know, that's based into the spread, right?
Yep.
And what's interesting about that too is it goes back to the validators.
Yeah.
Right. And stakers.
And stakers.
And getting rid of those onerous gas fees is the whole idea of a layer 2, right? So we're seeing that the layer 2s are realizing that even a layer 2 solution on Ethereum still doesn't get you to the goal, and that of gasless transactions and
with decentralization, because the problems with the layer 2s is that they're highly centralized order books off chain in order for them to work. And the problem is that if they're using that layer 2 solution, they don't meet the decentralized requirements to that a lot of
to not be a security,
right? So now by moving their mechanism to IBC, they can achieve the same things in a different way by maintaining that decentralized approach. They can avoid
with low gas fees.
or like you said, no gas fees in this.
Or no
sense.
gas fees. Yeah.
So we'll also leave this thread. Is there anything else in this thread that was popping out? Fully decentralized off-chain order book and matching engine. That's amazing, which can support. I mean, think about the future. This is early building blocks. One of the things we like to talk about, the scandal with, or not scandal, the problems with traditional finance. How does this new technology upset and revolutionize and have creative destruction? How is it going to change the way humans exchange information or exchange value, just like the telephone or just like the internet has revolutionized the way people communicate and exchange information? The way people have trusted intermediaries to handle payment for order flow, to handle transactions. There's always been, whether it's called minor extracted value or front running, for long periods of time, there have been black boxes where a certain group of people have access to knowledge and information and others don't have access to that. And because of that, there is a, not maybe parasitic, but there is an imbalance of the flow of the funds often. And here where you have open source, fully decentralized, off-chain, a matching, and where people can go verify how it's being done, we're moving to systems where those intermediaries, it's all being done by code. You don't even need the intermediary anymore to secure your funds or to make sure that the orders go through, because it's all automated and all done. In the long run, we're talking about a huge savings of value to the economy, to the people.
Meanwhile, in traditional finance, front running still occurs. It's still a problem, right?
It's normal.
So,
I mean,
it's normal. It's normalized. Yeah.
You couldn't have it any other way. So the idea of the concept of being able to trade without front running, we talk about like Hydro DAO or Shades, things being built on privacy secret network. The idea of being able to do this without being victim to having to trust other people, I mean, that's just the way it's always been. So this is something that blockchain, this technology is allowing for. It's one of the real exciting potentials of crypto and when it comes to the world of decentralized finance. So congratulations to DyDx, the team and the community. We look forward to keeping everyone abreast of the latest developments, especially as they come over to the IBC, which we love to talk about, the interoperability and the projects that are developing value, whether it's privacy, NFTs, or other data storage. Many exciting things happening in this ecosystem. What we're also seeing is a flood of investment that was on Ethereum coming over to IBC. We're seeing a lot more communities leaving Ethereum because it's just too expensive. It's too expensive, it's too slow, and it's not able to meet the demand at the moment. So this is congratulations to the IBC gang in the Cosmos community. I know that many people have been working hard building to allow this interoperability to take place, and we're definitely still at the beginning. So
I would even say just really quickly that, you know, we're still at the beginning of blockchain. We're at that precipitant point where with success, oftentimes you have this valley of disappointment where for a long time you're building, but you don't see that compounding success until you break that plateau of possible potential. And in the crypto space, we haven't broken that possible potential of mass adoption yet. So you're still early. And until we break that plateau where, you know, people's moms, dads, and grandmas are all using crypto or crypto assets or crypto native assets without knowing because the user interfaces are so clean, then you're early.
Yeah, that's the next step. For sure.
yeah, it's like early on days, you couldn't send it. Now email is easy for people. You have an app on your phone, send an email, create an email account. But in the early days, when the concept of an email and sending someone a message on the internet or in this invisible, that was, there's some clips of people on TV talking about email that it would never take off. It's pretty funny, but we're definitely in the early days. And shucks, I mean, look, we're talking about so early that DYDX just figured out a way to open themselves up to a market that they were completely shut off from prior to this move. So this will be interesting to see more people move to the IBC for decentralized purposes and opening up to whether it be US customers or customers in other parts of the world. I think there's a lot that could be taken away from this. DYDX, DeFi, IBC. Was there something else that we wanted to get before our next video? I think we covered pretty much the good news on this. All right. Well, you know what to do. Send that subscription notification bell, drop a comment, and give us that love. Until the next time, have a beautiful day, and namaste, y'all.